Nobody told me this was going to happen. I had the same job, same apartment, same friends, same face. But somewhere between being broke and building a little bit of wealth, people started treating me differently. And I do not mean in some vague, abstract way. I mean my coworker who never asked me for advice suddenly wanted to know what I was investing in. I mean my mom stopped saying, "Be careful with your money," and started saying, "What do you think I should do with mine?" I mean strangers, people I had just met, started assuming I had my life together before I even opened my mouth. Here is the thing. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So when you are not living that way, when you have even a modest cushion, you're already in rare air, and the world picks up on it. Not because you are flashing cash or driving a new car. It is subtler than that. It is in the way you order at a restaurant without checking the price first. It is in the way you do not panic when your car needs a repair. It is in the way you carry yourself when money is not the thing keeping you up at night. And today I want to show you the 3 specific net worth thresholds where this shift happens. Not vague get-rich advice. 3 real numbers. Because it is not about designer clothes. It is not about flexing on social media. It is not about pretending to be wealthy. It is about crossing a line, a quiet, invisible line, where the math in your bank account starts changing the energy in every room you walk into. Let me show you where those lines are. Most people think you need to be rich, like actually rich, before anyone notices. $1 million, a Porsche in the driveway, a house with a pool. But that is not how it works. The first treatment shift happens way earlier than you think. And the reason most people miss it is because they are focused on a wrong number. They are chasing income. A bigger salary, a better title, a raise. And look, income matters. I am not going to sit here and pretend it does not. But income is not what changes how people treat you. Net worth is, because income is what you earn. Net worth is what you keep. And the world responds to what you keep, even if they never see your bank account. Here's what I mean. The average American has less than $1,000 in savings. $1,000. So when you quietly stack $50,000 in net worth, and I am talking total assets minus total debts, you're already ahead of most people around you. You did not announce it. You did not post about it. But something shifted. And this is the part nobody talks about. It is not the money that people are responding to. It is you. Money does not change how people see you. It changes how you carry yourself, and that changes how people see you. Hold on to that idea. We are coming back to it. I remember the exact moment I noticed it. I was 25, and I had just crossed $50,000 in net worth for the first time. Nothing fancy, a mix of savings, a small brokerage account, and no debt. I was at lunch with a coworker, a guy who had been at the company longer than me, made more than me, and honestly knew more than me about most things. And out of nowhere he goes, "Hey, you seem like you are pretty good with money. What should I be doing with my savings?" I almost choked on my sandwich. Nobody had ever asked me that before. Not once. When I was broke, and I mean truly broke, negative net worth, credit card balance I was scared to look at, nobody asked me anything about money, ever. The moment I was not broke anymore, it was like I had suddenly become credible. Same brain. Same advice I probably would have given a year earlier. But now people wanted to hear it. That is the first threshold. And it starts at a number most people could hit within 2 to 3 years if they got serious about it. Let me walk you through the 3 thresholds. Threshold 1, I call it the stability shift. This happens around $50,000 in net worth. And I know $50,000 might not sound like a life-changing number, but in a country where the median net worth for someone under 35 is around $65,000, hitting 50 puts you right in the middle of the pack. And if you are under 30, you are ahead of most people you know. Here is what changes at this level. You stop saying, "I can't afford that." You start saying, "I'm choosing not to spend on that." And that sounds like a small difference, but it is enormous. One is a position of weakness. The other is a position of power. And people feel it. Your friends feel it. Your family feels it. Your boss feels it. You walk into a negotiation differently when you have a safety net. You handle a crisis differently when you know you are not one emergency away from disaster. And the people around you, even if they do not know your exact number, They pick up on that energy. Every time. Threshold 2, the authority shift. This is where things get really interesting. This kicks in around $250,000 in net worth. And at this level, you are in roughly the top 20% of Americans under 40. You did not just save well. You built something. Pay attention to this number. 250,000. Because this is where the math starts doing something wild. If you had $100,000 invested and it grew at an average of 8% annually, in 20 years that $100,000 becomes $466,000. You did not add a single dollar. The money grew on its own. That is the momentum people can feel, even if they cannot name it. At the authority shift, people stop giving you advice and start asking for yours. Let me give you an example. Imagine two friends, same age, same salary, both 32 years old, making $75,000 a year. One has $250,000 in net worth because she started investing at 23 and lived below her means. The other has $12,000 in savings and $30,000 in student loans. Same income, completely different lives. The first one gets recruited for better jobs because she negotiates from confidence, not desperation. She takes calculated risks because she can afford to. When her family has a financial question, they call her. When her friends are planning a group trip, they ask her to organize the budget. She became the person people trust, not because she talks about money, but because she clearly figured something out. The second friend? Still smart, still capable, still earning the same paycheck. But the world treats her differently, not because she is less talented. Because financial stress leaks into everything, your posture, your decisions, your willingness to speak up. And people sense it whether you want them to or not. That is the authority shift. And it is the single biggest social jump on this entire list. Hey, quick pause. If you're sitting there right now thinking about which threshold you are at, I break down stuff like this every single week. Hit subscribe so you catch the next one. I am working on something about the exact habits that separate people who stay stuck from people who actually build momentum. All right, back to it. Because the third threshold is the one that really changes everything. Threshold 3, the gravity shift. This happens around $1 million in net worth. And before you check out and think, that is not me, hear me out. Because this threshold is less about the number and more about what the number does to the physics of your life. At $1 million, you stop chasing opportunities. They start coming to you. People want to do business with you. People want to introduce you to other people. People want you in the room, not because you ask, but because you carry something they want to be close to. I know that sounds dramatic. It is not. It is just how social dynamics work once you cross a certain line. Now, here is the thing that surprised even me. The gravity shift is not really about having $1 million in the bank. The average millionaire did not get there by winning the lottery or landing one big deal. They got there by building 7 income streams, by being born with their money for a long time, and by letting compound interest do the heavy work for a decade or two. The number is just a scoreboard. The real shift happened gradually, in their habits, their confidence, their tolerance for risk, and the way they show up in every conversation. Earlier, I said money does not change how people see you. It changes how you carry yourself. Here is what that actually looks like at this level. When you have $1 million in net worth, you negotiate differently, not aggressively, calmly, because you do not need the deal. You walk into rooms differently, not arrogantly, quietly, because you are not trying to prove anything. You take risks differently, not recklessly, strategically, because a bad outcome does not destroy you. And people, smart people, successful people, they are drawn to that energy like a magnet. That is the gravity. It is not the money pulling people in. It is the version of you that the money built. I noticed this with my own family. There was a stretch of years where every holiday dinner, every phone call, someone had advice for me. You should save more. You should get a stable job. Have you thought about going back to school? And I get it, they cared about me. But it was always them talking and me listening. Then somewhere along the way, the dynamic flipped. I do not even remember exactly when, but I remember sitting at Thanksgiving and my uncle, the guy who always had an opinion about everything, turned to me and said, "What do you think I should do about refinancing?" And the whole table was listening. Same me, same uncle, but the roles had reversed. And here's the part we want to be real about. Not every relationship survives these thresholds. Some friends get weird. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your growth holds up a mirror to their stagnation. And some people do not want to see that. Some family members get jealous. Some people who used to be close start keeping their distance. That is the cost nobody warns you about. The treatment shifts in both directions. Most of it is good. Some of it is lonely. But here's what I have learned. The people who stay, the ones who are genuinely happy for you, those are the ones worth building for. So let me leave you with 3 things you can actually do. Not someday, not when you feel ready, but now. First, today, calculate your net worth. Everything you own minus everything you owe. One number. Write it down. I do not care if it is negative. I do not care if it is $14. That number is your starting line, and you cannot run a race if you do not know where you are standing. Open a notes app, open a spreadsheet, write on a napkin. I do not care. Just get the number. Second, this week, set up one automatic transfer. Even if it is $50 a month into a high-yield savings account or an index fund, the amount almost does not matter right now. What matters is that you build the system. Because the people who cross these thresholds are not the ones who made the most money. They are the ones who automated the right habits and then got out of their own way. Third, and this is the one that sticks, stop measuring your life by your paycheck and start measuring it by your net worth. Your salary is what the world gives you. Your net worth is what you kept. And the treatment shifts I just walk you through, the stability shift, the authority shift, the gravity shift, none of them care how much you earn. They only care how much you built. It is not your salary that changes how people treat you. It is not your job title. It is not who you know. It is the number nobody sees, your net worth, that quietly rewires every relationship, every conversation, and every room you walk into. Which threshold are you at right now? And when did you first notice people treating you differently? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to see the exact system I use to automate my savings and investments so the money grows without me thinking about it, watch this video right here. I break down the full blueprint step by step.